This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay. Bruchim Aboim. Welcome everybody. Agon Erev Shabbos. We have a very important subject today. Today is Erev Shabbos. Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan. It is well known that the Shlach HaKadosh talks about the importance of always davening for the spiritual and physical and emotional welfare of our children. The Shlach HaKadosh says, L'olam yehei shagor b'fi av v'im. It should be frequent in the mouth of a father and mother to pray for the welfare of their children. We can never stop davening for our children. This is not something that we do once a day. We've given a shiur 10 places in davening to have in mind your children. In Birchas HaTorah, in Shema, V'shinantam levanecha, in Ata Choynein, in Hashivenu, throughout the davening, V'dar V'dar, when a person says V'nafshi ka'afar la kol tia, in Uvalat Tzion, when you say L'man lo nigal arik v'lo b'hala, in Hamapiel, Usahemi Tasi Shlema. This is something we reiterate again and again and again and again. We never stop davening for our children. The Shlach HaKadosh composed a famous tefillah when one should to daven for one's children, and the Shlach reveals that in his opinion the most opportune time to say it is Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan. And there's a lot of controversy about what do you do this year when Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan falls out on Shabbos. Normally, you don't say Bakashos on Shabbos. And we gave a clip on that last night. Most hold you could say it on Shabbos. And you should just leave out the parts of it that are asking for material benefit for your children. Some of the tefillahs you're asking the children should be handsome and tall and have parnasa, so that you'll leave out on Shabbos. But most poskim say you could say it on Shabbos. The Shevet Halevi paskind you could. Rav Sternbuch paskind you could. Rav Chaim Kanievsky and many svarim said you could say it on Shabbos. Rav Shlomo Zalman said you could say it on Shabbos. Other poskim say to say it on Friday. Today. The Nittei Gavriel writes yesterday. In honor of this tefillah of the Shla and Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan, this is a share I wanted to give for a long time. And I will tell you, like I mentioned earlier, we're also working on a sefer besides the two svarim in English, in Lashon Kodesh, on Chinuch Habanim. So today's shiur is one of the final chapters. I wanted to do it on a Wednesday night, but it didn't. The right time didn't come up. So I saved it for Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan. If anybody wants to be mishtatef in this sefer, it's the sefer on Chinuch Habanim. Different. Not that I am an expert. That is one subject that we're still trying to. We need siyata d'shmaya every minute, but maybe by studying it, it will improve our skills. If anybody wants to be mishtatef in this will be one of the chapters in the sefer. Today's shiur is 8 opportune occasions in life. Okay, because we've spoken about something similar. We gave a shiur the 10 places in daily davening to have in mind your children. We spoke about 10 times during the year you should daven for your children. This is a different subject. 8 occasions in life. 8 momentous occasions in life to pray for the welfare of your children. And you ready for this? It starts much earlier than you think. You know when you should start davening for your children? It doesn't begin when your kid is sitting under the chuppah. It doesn't begin at your kid's bar mitzvah. It doesn't begin at their bris milah. It doesn't even begin when they're born. It doesn't even begin when they're in utero. It doesn't even begin Belayla. It begins already at the chuppah. already at the chuppah, before they're conceived in your mind, before you even decide whether you want to have them or not. You already have to start davening for them. Now, if that sounds a little bit demoralizing, because the person's going to say, well, it's a little too late for that. So I always like to say like this. I once heard a great principle from Avigdor Miller. It's called retroactive free choice, which means like this. If you didn't do something right when you did it the first time, you could think in your mind, I wish I thought that back when. And it works to an extent. And Rav Miller gave the following example. Rav Miller asks, we say in benching, we thank Hashem for our bris milah. What do you mean we thank Hashem for bris milah? You got it yesterday? It's been a while since you got the bris milah. But the thing is, when you had it, you were 8 days old. So you couldn't have das to mechavin, to mekayim the mitzvah, bris milah, to thank Hashem you did it. So what do? 50 years later, when you're benching, you say, Hashem, remember when I had my bris? I'm really happy I did that. I'm doing it, I wish I could have thought that I was doing it besimcha and with all the great kavanas. You could supply das to something that happened in the past. We learned that from Birchas Hamazon. And where did the Anshe Knesset Gedolah get that from? They got that, Rav Miller said, from the mitzvah of shikha. Mitzvah of shikha, the guy had no idea he dropped the bundle. Later on, he thinks, the bundle I dropped? Okay, let the ani keep it. Too late, pal. Mitzvah strichas kavana. It's true. Mitzvah strichas kavana. But if you didn't, it's not farfallen. You could, after the fact, so if you think, I forgot to daven for my children before they were conceived, well, say now, Hashem, I'm mispalo for my children, and I would like it to retroactively apply to all the right times. Okay, so the first time, and this is very interesting, I've been digging these up for a while. The first time to daven for your children is when you're sitting under the chuppah. Who wrote this tefillah? I couldn't find any tefillah. I found one tefillah from Rabbi Vadia Yosef. Tefillah l'chassan b'yom chuppah. Rabbi Vadia wrote the tefillah for his son Rabbi Yaakov for his chuppah. The tefillah goes, Yiratzim v'nech Hashem l'kenim l'kenim sinners shezivugi shprinza yenta yala yafa livno yisvayis namzo v'nizke lezera kodesh shel kayama bebanim ubanois v'nizke legadlam l'toira uliyur shamayim b'roiv nachas v'shalva v'hashgate v'vetach v'sasher shchinascha aleinu. So when you start davening, when you're under the chuppah, you didn't even think about having your children yet. That's when you start. Okay. Then, next time, the day your wife goes to the mikvah, on that day, you already start davening to have worthy children. The Chida has a sefer Kaf Achas. He says, "La'oire rachamim im yiska l'hoyle ben zachar," to arouse mercy to be zocheh to male progeny. The day the wife goes to the mikvah, meaning she's going in the night, that day, you give money, le'iloi nishmas rameir balanes, and you say, Hareini menadev shemen lemar le'iloi nishmas rameir balanes, kedei shakadosh baruch hu b'schus rameir yizakeni l'hoyled halayla hazu haba l'shon v'tesara ishti, and say her name, a ben zachar, l'chayim aruchim v'toivim, u'l'kayama zera anoshim la'avoidasa el'kademeir anini. So when do you start davening? The next time, the day your wife is going to the mikvah. She's going to go in 7 hours. That's next time you daven. Next occasion. Before the mitzvah of Oina, before Zivug. The Ramban composed the tefillah to say, before husband and wife fulfill the mitzvah, the Ramban wrote a tefillah in Igeras HaKodesh. The tefillah goes like this: Shetitein li imishti ben zachar zera kodesh ratzoi vehagun toiv veyafe mesukan umekubal talmid chacham oisek batar lishma veroi liyos uleskayim b'li avayin v'ashma usvarcheni b'shmecha usavarich es beisi b'zachrecha v'samshich meshach zari v'chomayonem imekar Yisrael. Usechoinin zari v'yibana v'yivitza v'yasa v'emes v'yoshev v'yimashach chayiz v'yam v'makam atzlachasai b'noi b'tam b'chein u'v'chesed b'choyach u'v'brius b'oimetz u'v'choyzek u'v'toykef u'v'gvura. Unbelievable. The Ramban wrote a very lengthy tefillah. That's davening for the children. You didn't even have children yet. No. Before your Mekayim Pru Ravu, another lengthy tefillah. By the way, the Chida also composed the tefillah, Kaidem Zivug. It says, Yiratzim Vanecha, Ekya Asher Ekya, Shahalayla Hazu Tisaber Ishti, Ploni Bas Ploni, Ben Zachar, Chacham, V'nasan L'masa Zera Anoshim, Chachma B'choichacha Agada. Next time. She's pregnant? For 40 days you should give tzedakah to Rav Meir Balanes so that it should be a boy. 40 days straight. And you're mispalel that it should be Zera Kodesh during the time of the pregnancy. Next occasion, at the Bris Milah, the Shlach HaKadosh writes that at the Bris Milah, Yispalel Hashem Yisbarach, Teikav La'achar HaMilah, right after the Milah, that you pray that Hashem should give the child a neshama kadosha, Lilmaid, Lilamed, Lishmar, Velasis, Ulakayim. Give the child a bracha, give to others to be mavarich the child. By the way, on the pasuk, B'cha Yivarach Yisrael Leimar Yisimcha Elokim, Targum says the bracha Yisimcha Elokim is to give the child the bracha on the day of the Milah. By the way, that's why everyone cries out, Kishem Shenichnas Labris, Ken Yikanis L'Sar L'Chubal Masim Toivim. But the next time to pray for the child is after the Bris Milah, that he should have a neshama kadosha. The Chida wrote a sefer, Sansan Liar. The tefillah the father says before the child has a milah. And I give my son, I appoint the moil as a shliach. And the mitzvah should be considered like a reach nichayach. And you, please Hashem, be mashpia a neshama kadosha to the yelad, and Elio should bless the yelad, and he shouldn't sin, and we should be zech legadlo to'ala mitzvos, and he should be a chacham and a chassid and a bal midos toivos and a good mazel, and we should rejoice in him. Don't waste the opportunity. So next time you go to a bris, you say, Rebbeinu Shalom, I'm espalel that my children should be Yirei Shamayim because I didn't know this at the time I made a bris milah for them. So I would like my tefillah to work then, and it does something. Like we said, you could go back in time. Next time, your kid's first day in yeshiva. Some people at 3 years old, some people a little bit older. The Kavayosha writes, when you bring your child to yeshiva for the first time, You wake up early in the morning, wake up the child, bring him to the yeshiva. Even if the father is an old man or a prestigious person, don't be embarrassed. Take the kid yourself. Thank Hashem that he was mazakeh you to bring your son tachas kanfei hashchina. Cover his eyes so he doesn't see anything improper on the way. Give the child into the lap of the Rebbe like the pasuk kasher yisa oimen as hayonik. You show the child the Aleph Beis and you show him Aleph Beis Gimel Dalet and then Tav Shin Reish Kuf. And you teach him Torah Tzivilanu Moshe in the beginning of Vayikra. Then you let him eat some honey off of the luach. V'lachein, therefore, says Kavayashar, on that day, the father and the mother should fast. And they should pray to Hashem that the child should be successful in Torah, and in Yira, and Amasim Toivim, and Arichas Yamim, and give tzedakah. And if you do that, it is assured that the child will be God-fearing. But again, another opportunity, another momentous occasion to daven for the welfare of your children is when you bring them to the yeshiva the first time. And then, the next time, at their bar mitzvah. This comes from a sefer, I was not familiar with this sefer, from one of the early Mikubalim, Rav Meir Paparish. He writes, Kol av va'em mechuyavim lehispalel al b'neihem sheyizku l'neshama kedoisha. At the bar mitzvah, there's an idea that's when the holy soul of the child comes down. So you're mechuyav to daven that they should be zoicha for neshama kedoisha. And the proper time to start 2 or 3 months before. Because this way there's time for the child to be zoicha to such a holy soul. So bar mitzvah is another time. And then the next time, when the child is of age to get married, or before that, the Sefer Chassidim writes, every single day, one should daven that their children should be zoicha for a zivugim taivim, a zivug of Yer Shamayim, Torah, Gmils Chasadim. How often? Every single day. So just when you thought, okay, I'm free, I could breathe easy, I prayed at the chuppah, I prayed on the Yom Tefillah, I prayed before the mitzvah, I prayed at the bris, I prayed when the kid went to yeshiva, I prayed at the bar mitzvah, now I could breathe. No, now you have to start praying every day. They should have a zivug yafeh. The Pele Yoetz wrote a sefer Yalzu Chasidim. He writes that one should daven for his children, his sons and his daughters, that you should marry them off at the right time, and they should live a successful life, a chaim tovim va'aruchim, with their spouse. So this is also a tefillah. When they reach the age of zivugim, one should also pray every day. Now maybe somebody could help me. I was looking, so you're not done. So now once you marry them off, I didn't see that it's brought down that you should daven at their chuppah for them, but I assume every other momentous occasion is supposed to be utilized for that. So as we've mentioned many times, that one of the parents' most important responsibilities, if not most important responsibility, is to daven for the welfare of their children, and it's something that we have to do every day of our life, all day long. And we hope that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should answer all of our tefillos. We should all be zoicha, banim uvnei banim, oiskam atar v'mitzvos, banim uvnei banim, meirim es ha'olam, ba'torah, uv'masim tovim. Okay, everyone, Agon Erev Shabbos, Agon Chodesh, and next week we'll prepare for the Yom Tov of Shavuos. Haba aleinu tova. Kol tov, everyone. Yes. I wish everybody Is anyone in Yerushalayim right now? Any representatives? Headed there. On the way. One day. Okay, everyone, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Shabbos, good Shabbos.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.